Okay, so the next session is one of my favorites, as if I'd actually had the ability, I would have loved to have been a professional sportsman. And it's all about sport and society. And obviously sport, can be an amazing force for good and for change in the world, not just in the way that leading sports figures such as Boris Becker, who we'll hear from in a second, and Sol Campbell can share their voices, the fantastic speech about the men's gay rugby team and how they're changing the whole view of the world, and the movement to the Paralympics and how that's changing the way the world sees disability. So first up to welcome back, who's going to chair this next panel, somebody, you guys think you're all young. The average age is about 24. This is a guy who's 7 years younger than that, won Wimbledon for the first time, and that is insanely young. A fantastic returning councillor who's going to chair the session, Boris Becker. Welcome back. And to join him again, you just heard from the fantastic Sol Campbell. I'd sit in the middle, Boris. Put the up. Sol Campbell. Great to see you. Next to Boris. We're also delighted to welcome back one of the only people in the world to complete the 7 oceans swim. You saw him in the opening ceremony swimming here. He swam for up to 17 hours at a time. He didn't actually swim today, and he isn't wearing his Speedos. Adam Walker. Good to see you. And finally, one of the inspirations for One Young World was the whole Olympic movement and the way it brought everybody together. And the world comes together when the Olympics happens and amazing things happen. And the final member of the panel is actually a One Young World delegate. He's only 22. In 2012, he won his country's, and in fact, Grenada's first ever medal in the Olympics in the 400 meters. It was a gold medal. And from a country of 110,000 people, he beat the Americans, the Brits, the Russians, and at the UN and at Davos, the people from the bigger countries seem to matter more. And what's great about the Olympics, and what's great, we hope, about One Young World, is it's actually one of the places where it doesn't matter where you come from, everybody, everywhere matters. So please welcome to the stage gold medal winning Kirani James. Good to see you. Boris, take it away.
Thank you very much for your introduction. Indeed, it was a couple of years ago. Well, I'm very honored to be amongst you guys. You used sport to better your lives. I've just went through your bios a little bit, and you've got some amazing life stories from the backgrounds you're coming from. So let's talk about sports heroes and role models. What it was like for you, Sol, growing up in London.
Tough. I don't think I'm...
Yeah.
Yes. Tough. East London. It's not an easy place back then. But being here, listening to all the lives of other people, it's not been as tough as them. But you do what you do in your own area. You find your own way. I'm from a big family, 12 of us all together, which puts its pressures on there, pros and cons. But you learn to fight, you grow up very quickly, and you learn how to navigate. And because there was no space at home, and that's why I was outside playing football all the time.
When did you realize that football could be a possibility for a way out to better your lives, is to support your family eventually? You're the first black captain, if I may say that, for England. You've done amazing in the Premier League. You've played for 4 different clubs. When did you realize that sport was a way out?
First thing, I was second black captain.
I'm sorry.
Paul Links. But I never really understood football in the sense that I enjoyed football. I enjoyed the competing. For me, it was almost like a local thing from the streets. my area versus your area, bragging rights. Just for me, I like to keep it simple, and that's what football should be: simple, learning from one another, playing against big guys, toughen yourself up, and it's a natural thing to bring a community together, and that's how football is. You know, such a fantastic, infectious way of spreading the word in many different ways. But for me, I was very shy of my talent, but I grew into it, and people saw me and asked, do you fancy coming to this club? My first club was West Ham. It didn't really turn up too well. That was my local club. And then I went to, and then I joined Tottenham. And you join an organization and you grow within that organization, and that's how you do it. You almost got to be in the system. If you're out the system, it's very hard to get in the system. And now kids are thinking about playing football and being a professional footballer at 10 years old. That wasn't in my mind. I'm more of a natural human kind of being when it comes to sports. And I think that's the best way, because you keep the essence of the sport you're in safe and pure.
As a role model, you can't imagine how many young, up-and-coming footballers from difficult neighborhoods where you're from are listening to every word you're saying now. What character trait made it for you? What was the reason you became successful? What's the message?
For me, it was fight. Not everybody here would understand. There's different type of fighting you have to do as a growing up, as a human being. But I had to fight for all the things I truly believed in. And the passion came through that. I just wanted to be outside. I played other sports. I even played tennis. I don't think I would be as good as you. But but you played a little bit of football. You played a little bit of football. I've seen you kicking up at Wimbledon, you know, when you was a youngster.
Yeah, just a little
So anyway, great control. But I think that's what it's all about. You know, I love football, and that's the thing. You've got to keep that love. And in most things in life, if you lose the love, I think you lose your direction. And that's, for me, is the most important thing. The essence of the sport you're in, keeping it, respecting it, and respecting others who are playing the sport as well.
Give it up for Saul Campbell, please. Adam Walker, you like the water.
I love the water.
I can't believe where you swam. You're the first British athlete to compete in all of the 7 world's most difficult and deadly ocean swims.
You make it sound hard.
Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself in harm's way?
I thought it was something to do. No, I mean...
Where's the love of swimming and just breaking records that came from?
I inspired 7 years ago. I was on an aeroplane, as the story goes, and I put one of those in-flight movies on, and it was called On a Clear Day. It was a fictional movie about a guy swimming the English Channel. Now, I was 25 years of age, wasn't a born athlete, and really wanted to do something to inspire myself, and I didn't want on my gravestone, there goes Adam, he was a salesman, just like everybody else. I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to make a difference. And I got so inspired by this movie, I thought, I wonder if I can do that. Swim the English Channel, it sounds really cool. What? And so I jumped in a local pool and swam for an hour, coughed my guts up, thought, I'm really too unfit to do this. Hadn't swam for 10 years, and when I did swim, it was 2 lengths backstroke. It was never front crawl. Had no coach, and I had to train before work and after work like an Olympian. It wasn't funded. It was all my own funding, and I had to go on from there. And I just got this inspiration to do it, and something inside me said, push yourself to the limit. See how capable you are. Don't be scared of failure. So it went on from there, really.
Now you explain it so easily and so forth. You had a couple injuries,
yeah.
Had surgeries on your knees, and I remember you were talking a couple of days to me about one doctor advising you not to swim anymore. It took you exactly a couple of weeks, and you went back to the ocean. Do you understand how important swimming is for all of us? You know, we all have children, and it's the first thing we do. We learn to swim.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's a life skill. For me, you talk about the injuries. You know, I had a bad shoulder actually before I started training for the English Channel. I played water polo, and I took a save in goal, and that was the shoulder. But I was so determined, whatever happened to me, that I was going to make it. and I had two operations on the left knee, one on the right knee, previously to doing this, had this shoulder problem. And what I did was, after I swam the English Channel, I found out I had a ruptured bicep tendon while swimming the channel. The surgeon said, never swim again, you won't have a shoulder left. And I taught myself to swim a different way, which actually then opened another opportunity as a business. And now I coach people, and I coach youngsters and older people. It's such an important life skill. And the issue in England really is because it's the ocean, everybody says stay away from the open sea. Now, lakes and other bodies of water, if you fall in, it's very dangerous if you start panicking. So what I'm trying to do is train people to do it in a safe environment. And I've actually become the ambassador of the Royal Life Saving Society. So my world has opened up into so many different areas. I'm also ambassador of the Whale and Dolphin Conservation. And I no longer sell kettles and toasters.
So what's your message? I mean, you've had this video in the airplane, and so many years later, and so many miles swam in the ocean later. What did you learn, and what's your message you want to bring across?
My message is never give up on your dreams. I mean, you see these guys, some unbelievable sports people, and Boris, all you guys, you know, I kind of watched you on the TV and wanted to be like you. And everybody in the audience here who's got a dream, don't give up on it, because it's never too late. I was 25. I'm 36 now, although I don't like admitting it. I know I look younger.
Thank you.
And I would say, push on through whatever it is, and whatever goal that is. It doesn't have to be swimming, it can be anything in your life. It doesn't even have to be sport, but never give up. And that's what this is all about. That's why I'm really privileged to be here. Just keep pushing on, and follow your dreams.
Kirani James, you like to run.
Yes, sir.
He likes to play football, likes to swim, you like to run, and faster than most people. In fact, you're the current Olympic champion of the 2012 Olympics, and that was in 400 meters. And not only that, you were declared 2009, first time it was declaration, the Grenada Sportsman of the Year. So you have done a few o'clock more than everybody in the room together. Why do you like to run?
You know, growing up, I've always had a passion for it. You know, ever since I was about, 12, 13 years old, I started training in a structured program, and I just kept growing in the sport. And also, the support that I get, from home, from my family, from my community, the pride that I see in their eyes every time I step on the track, it really motivates me to go out there and just try to give them my best and know that as long as I leave it all out there, that they're going to be proud of me no matter what. And as long as I'm doing something positive that they can be proud about, I'm happy with that.
When did you realize that you were faster than somebody others? When was that first rush of adrenaline that you realized, well, I'm a little bit ahead and I could use it to better my life? When was that moment that changed it for you?
I would say when I was 13 years old, we had a Caribbean Youth Games, and there's always this stigma with the bigger Caribbean islands like Jamaica and Trinidad, Bahamas, that they were always superior, in athletics.
Until you came.
But I went there and I competed in the 200 meters and the 400 meters. I actually won the 400, got second in the 200. And from that moment, I said to myself that if I can't compete with the greater Caribbean islands, then I could really be, it could really be something I can be good at. So from there, I just started, just prioritizing my life. Just started taking it a lot more seriously, being more disciplined, being more focused. And, here I am now, Olympic champion, Commonwealth champion, things that I've never, even dreamed about years ago. I am now just through, having that dedication.
Now, you said you started to learn to be more disciplined, more focused. You had a teacher, you had a family background, you had somebody that taught you, because at 13, 14, you possibly could realize that. I mean, you had a guiding hand.
Oh, yeah, I mean, every, I would say stage in my life, I've always, surrounded myself with people that can help me, which is a lot of people that are older than me. You know, I've always been around people that are older than me, so just to hear them giving me advice, you know, on just how to go through things and, you know, just how to, you know, focus and prioritize my life and just try to make a better future for, you know, me and my family. And, you know, it really helped me in the long run, just helped me, you know, understand there's more to sport than just competing, but, you know, it also comes with a responsibility when you reach at a certain level, you know, that, you know, you have to accept. And so it has helped me grow, you know, not just as an athlete, but as a person tremendously.
Now, in these days in the conference, we talk a lot about education and how important it is. And you, obviously, Olympic champion, world's fastest, you could easily be a professional, but you choose not really to. You still study at the University of Alabama, you're finishing the studies.
Yeah.
Why?
It's something that I've always had a goal about, is to, you know, always try to get, you know, the best education I can. And it's something that my mother has always pushed me towards.
Your mother again. It's always the mother that has the right
You know,
advice.
you know, also my father too, but it's something that I've always aimed for in terms of, you know, in this day and age, you really need a proper education, you know, to move on to the next stage of your life. I know that, you know, my athletic career is not going to last, you know, forever. So I have to have something to fall back on, you know, so that I can, you know, be prepared for that next stage in my life. So school has always been, you know, a priority of mine. You know, it's always been, you know, track and school. It always went hand in hand. Ever since I was, you know, 13 years old, I had to balance that. And, you know, so it's something that I really, you know, am focused on in terms of finishing school and just making sure that I have something to fall back on.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kirani James, please. Ben. Thank you very much. Give me guidance. I think we're through with this session. So where are we going next? Yeah, I said that. Somebody come.
Questions?
Because growing up in apartheid South Africa, we were rightly excluded from the games. And as South Africans, as you know, are completely sports mad. And it was always my biggest thing that somehow the South Africans would go to the Olympics. But I got to go for the first time when the first South Africans were allowed in '92, when Nelson Mandela had just been let out of jail. And my, you know, every peanut I get that I can save for myself, I tried to go to the Olympics. And London 2012, I was there with my husband and my daughter, and we saw you. And just the other day, I was in Lausanne with Paul, and the winner of the Kofi Annan scholarship to the Lausanne Business School came up to introduce himself, because he's almost a fellow countryman, because he's from Zimbabwe, and his name is, remember the name, okay? His name is Angus Goliath. And I wanted to bring him here as a delegate, but he's coming to Bangkok, which means all of you have to come to Bangkok. But I said to him, I said, oh, Angus, you know, congratulations to have the Kofi Annan scholarship. Isn't that fantastic? And he said, yes, I want to go back to Zimbabwe to lead my country at some point. That's my goal. But in the meantime, my other dream is an athlete. And he's currently, and to your point, it's only Zimbabwe, but he's Zimbabwe's 400-meter champion. And I said to him, I said, yes.
Don't think he's got a chance.
If you come to One Young World, guess who's going to be there? And there were a whole lot of people standing around. And I said, Kirani James. And this boy's face, Angus's face, was like the sunrise. He was so excited. He couldn't get his visa sorted for here, but he's coming to Bangkok. And you are really, Kirani, you are such an inspiration for these guys. You're dead special, you really are. I'm starstruck. Are you?
Thank you.
Do we want any questions?
Would you like to do a couple of questions? You've actually got time. We've actually got time. We can do 2 questions. Yes, David? Yes. What about that? Oh, and there's nobody.
Okay, at the back there.
Go on then. Is it you're a Campbell? Are you Sol's friend?
Man of Mike.
He's a soulmate.
My name's Jamal Campbell. I work for a charity called Street League. One thing I like to say, Sol Campbell, you're my hero. I am an Arsenal fan. I would really, really like to talk to you about racism in football, about making sure that there are open gay footballers. And there's one thing I like to say. I coach a women's football team, and we have 3 black coaches, and that's more than any. There's 3 black coaches, and there's not even 1 black coach in the Premiership, which is a disgrace. And then there's 3 of us coaching 1 team, and it's a women's football team. I would really, really, if I can, please, Sol Campbell, could I please talk to you and help you, whatever it is, whether it deals with racism, whether it's to gay rights in football, anything. I'll give you my business card. I'll do anything to help football, to help FIFA stop what they're doing in Qatar. They have turned a blind eye to what is happening to the people in Qatar, and it is a disgrace. Please, please, I would help you do anything. Please, thank you.
It's just one more, Davey.
But he had a very important point. I mean, you talk about international game of football, and you've got, it's televised all over the world. You've got 1 black manager in the Premier League. Why is that? Be honest.
I'm always honest. It's a difficult question, and there's a lot of answers to be asked. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of people's attitudes, and there's so many variables in football. There's now guys from Russia, America, China owning football clubs, and sometimes football has gone in a different kind of direction in a sense. Yes, the essence of the game is there, but what it does for people who own football clubs now is different now. Some people are buying clubs just for protection. Some guys are buying to flip football clubs. Some are using it for advertising rights. So as that's all going on, they're not really looking after what the game's all about, and it's slowly losing its essence, I believe. And attitude. I think it's all about changing the mentality. Some people say in America with the American football, the Rooney Rule, where you have to interview not only one type of person, you have to, at least 6 different people, black, white, or whatever, and they're allowed to, go for a job. And sometimes I think with England, and flip side to America, the Rooney Rule is a little bit different because it's more of a franchise in American football, so there's a lot more pressure. But when you get a Premiership, there's so many individuals with their own ideas. It's not cohesive. It's not strong enough. It's all about making money, basically. It's not about progress in football. And there's a lot of talented black managers out there, coaches out there who are past. First of all, they said, you cannot manage, you haven't got your qualifications. There's a lot of guys now who are coaches and qualified managers. So it's all about breaking that barrier, breaking that mental barrier, and allowing the guys who are at the top to realize, you are missing out of a world, the reservoir of fantastic talent because of color. And that should not be right.
To get my mic on, if we can put our hands together for the panelists to thank so much Boris for coming back and joining us, Sol, Adam, Kirani, thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic.